Okay. Well, I've been waiting for my husband to let me know what happened in India, and he hasn't let me know. You know, that stampede they had there? Apparently, some of my patrons were there, and Brent was there, and Lori McBride was there. Hasn't let me know, and I was actually due for a YouTube video yesterday. So I'll go ahead and make a YouTube video on some very interesting things that have happened to me, like in the past week or so. So look at the weight that I have lost as a result of my dental trauma. I'm about 133 in the morning, 5'6½", simply because I'm focused on eating a more balanced diet, which means more vegetables. So just by adding more vegetables to my diet, I am at my dream weight. So yeah, if you eat a balanced, see what I was doing before was I was eating way too much fruit and too much from the bread and cereal group. And I found a UK website where they, I'm doing real good. See, I like this. Basically, they recommend like 2 cups of fruit a day, 3 cups of vegetables, excluding potatoes. See, I'm a potato lover. So potatoes are actually considered like part of the bread and cereal group. And then for bread and cereal group, maybe no more than 3 cups a day, okay? And I was doing way more of that than that. And then of course your oils, your salts and your sugars, and like your candies, minimal, okay? I've gone back on my chocolate, but I'm only having a teeny weeny bit, and I'm no longer having 6 fruit popsicles a day. And that alone, and increasing my vegetables, so yeah, check out my cooking channel. Now I'm going to go into the topic of why I think the gods have not returned. But let me just start from the beginning and let you know how Satan tricked me. Yes, Satan was my lover for a week. So let me go into that, okay? I actually made some web posts about this. I include a Discord conversation I had with Rule 13, Satan and Brent on June 28th that explains what happened to me as I was healing from my tooth extraction and became obsessed with germs, my body, and foods. Yeah, I think I forgot that I am no longer a 22-year-old. So I am no longer, see, the last time I had a tooth extracted, I was like 22 years old. I had 4 wisdom teeth removed. Surgically, they had to be surgically removed because they were impacted. And I got over them within a couple days. And I was expecting to get over this extraction in the same amount of time. But and it was surgery too, and they had to use stitches, and they put me on antibiotics. But I am no longer a 22-year-old, so I have to remember that. Besides, this extraction may have been complicated because we were removing an infected tooth, okay? I'm not sure why I was so uncomfortable. Anyways, I'm getting off the subject. Okay. And I was healing from my tooth extraction and became obsessed with germs, my body, and foods. I'd like to say at the outset that what turns me on sexually is authenticity, depth, commitment, deep friendship, and true love with passion from my partner. And nobody is better at this with me than my awesome husband, Brent Spiner. And when I say nobody is a better lover to me than Brent, I include Jesus, Satan, and all the men or beings I've had sex with, mostly brain to brain in that comparison. It's all been human men. The only non-humans that I've had sex with are Satan and Jesus. I don't believe it's been any others. I am not interested in having sex with Baphomet or Shakpona, believe me. God forbid. Being asexual leaning, I relish the connection I have with my partner in all levels, more than the physical intimacy, and can never have an orgasm in 5 minutes for that reason. I like to bask in the connection for at least a half hour, it's usually longer, to build up to a slow and relaxing climax. That's how I am with my soulmate, Brent. Also, being asexual leaning, I have a rather low need for sex. But I don't have a low need for connection. And this is where the men get confused. They think because I have a high need for connection and I'm accommodating their, their sexuality, that means I'm as hyped up about sex as they are. So I relish the sex time as connection time. But if my partner is highly sexed, I can participate in a passive manner to keep them happy, focusing more on conversation than the actual physical stuff, which I'm not really all that into, seriously. But because my soulmate Brent is monogamous, and I would say pretty highly sexed, yeah, his brother had like 10 kids, so that should tell you. It must run in his family. But because my soulmate Brent is monogamous and I have a low need for sex, I prefer to have it all with Brent anyways. And I think my need for sex has kind of diminished in my older age too. And when I was younger and my hormones were a little different, my need for sex might have been a little higher. But I'm definitely not as hyped up sexually as a lot of people think I am. They misinterpret my need for connection as a need for sex, and that isn't the case with me at all. I definitely have asexual tendencies. And I certainly don't appreciate anyone who has sex with me and who does not honor my soulmate Brent in so doing, and consider all manipulations of me to have sex without Brent's permission as rape. Non-consensual sex is rape, Satan. So basically, Satan raped me from June 22nd to June 28th, and I don't appreciate that, Satan. I don't care if you look like an Adonis. I thought Satan was gay. I guess Buddha was right. We can't use labels on beings or people. What I find strange is it appears Satan really wanted to have sex with me. I mean, did I make the video about how he showed up on my bed and naked with his penis flung out? Like, that does nothing for me. Like, I mean, yeah, that was after I went on a big rant about how I wanted to, eliminate everybody in a bloody massacre if they wouldn't cooperate with us in getting rid of the mites, which, by the way, I am not proud of. And to be honest with you, my deep inner core is not like that. I actually do not like violence and bloodshed. Okay, so basically Satan raped me from June 22nd to 28th to 2024, and I don't appreciate it. So yeah, it appears like Satan really wanted to have sex with me. I can tell. This gay angel wanted to have sex with me, a female, okay? Looks like I've turned him into a bisexual. You know what? I think I remind him of the good old days when he was Lucifer and happy in heaven. And I suspect he may have been bisexual back then when he was living in heaven. I think he turned fully gay when some high-ranking female deity spurned him in sex, or wouldn't admit to her attraction to him to be a goody-goody as he saw it. He sees me as this female in my character qualities, but in a more honest and authentic form, and that's why he's so turned on by me. What he doesn't understand is that this goody-goody, high-ranking female deity was probably telling him the truth when she said she didn't want sex with him, and Satan just can't get over it, and he's furious at her for telling on him and getting him into trouble. He misinterpreted her deep friendship for him, which she apparently had, as sexual attraction, and fails to understand that there are beings out there who don't have a strong need for sex, but relish deep friendship alone in many of their relationships. I'm like that. So I really remind him of her and her character qualities. She was probably in a monogamous sexual relationship, as I am, and Satan violated that monogamous relationship by approaching her for sex without the consent of her husband. Shame on you, Satan, if I'm right. You shouldn't have done that. I remind him of her. That's what I think happened and why he's so attracted to me. He thinks I'm just like her in her character qualities, but in a more courageous and authentic form. In other words, he thinks she was a cowardly hypocrite.
Like, she turned me down, but she really wanted me. She's just scared of her husband.
She was probably a thoughtful and beautiful being, and Satan sees a lot of her in me. Except he thinks I'm less of a hypocrite than she is or was, and that I have more courageous authenticity. Oh, God forbid. I actually do not find Satan attractive, even when he looks like an Adonis. Not the way he is right now. He's too mean. I don't think Satan's lying when he says that he thinks I really want sex with him and feels that my true inner unadulterated core finds him attractive. I'll be honest with you. When I see that he was able to fake Brent so well, he fooled me for a whole week. And he did a pretty good fake job on Brent, and my husband is pretty deep and thoughtful. It leads me to suspect that as Lucifer, he was a hot angel inside and out. Or why else could he fake inner beauty so well and fool me as Brent for a whole stinking week? But Satan seems to have trouble understanding and respecting monogamy and asexuality. And he needs to understand and respect all sexual types and not violate true love, which does exist, Satan. Once he gets over his anger at this female deity who rejected and exposed him, and I guess he wanted to have a dalliance with her on the side without her husband's knowledge. And she wasn't interested, and she exposed him, and he's mad at her. He apparently got in big trouble over this. Yeah. Okay. Once he gets over his anger at this female deity who rejected and exposed him and realizes that true love does exist, he will be the beautiful angel he once was and will be stunning inside and out and will be a truly beautiful and hot angel in all respects. And I don't mean hot temperature-wise, Satan. I mean inner beauty-wise. I have faith in you, Lucifer. Buddha is right. Someday you'll get it. You say, what? How can you have faith in him? He's so mean. He did a pretty good fake job that week. I don't think he could have done a good fake job faking inner beauty unless he had it at one time. He's capable of it. I can tell. Buddha is right. Someday you'll get it and return to goodness and be the icon for free and true love as I believe he once was. And if I'm right, Satan, you owe this female deity and her husband a deep apology, and they may forgive you and reinstate you back into heaven. But you have to promise to never violate a monogamous relationship again, and to respect those who are monogamous. You can be friends with those in a monogamous style relationship, but don't approach anyone in a monogamous relationship for sex, for God's sake, Satan. Respect their boundaries without getting full permission from both the man and the woman in that monogamous relationship. Perhaps this female deity was polyamorous and asexual leaning like myself, but married to a monogamous male, as in my relationship with Brent. But even though I am polyamorous, I respect monogamy. And you, Lucifer, need to be the same. It's relatively easy for me to accommodate my monogamous husband, Brent, because of my asexual leanings. So Satan sees the polyamory in me, okay, and thinks it means that I'm dying to have sex with every hot being that happens along, forgetting that I'm also asexual leaning, and that I have a strong need for connection with my sexual partner, which is a connection that I currently do not have with Satan and never have had with him. You might say, I'm getting off the subject. Also, even if I do have a connection, that doesn't mean I want sex either. This is an aspect of asexuality that Satan doesn't get. You can't be the free and true love icon, Lucifer, if you fail to respect those who are monogamous and asexual. It means you are a bigot and only respect the sexual types you fully understand and identify with. And I know you're better than that, Lucifer. Okay, now I'm going to go into the Discord conversation I had when I discovered Satan was impersonating my husband Brent. I was horrified. This was on June 28th, 2024 from about 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hello, Rule 13. How are you and Zach doing? I wanted to know because Satan told me through humps, we had a humping communication going, that Zach had a serious mite infection on his penis and that 13 was comforting him.
Konnichiwa, we are great. I made Japanese clear mushroom soup with shiitakes.
Was that for Zach?
Yep.
He has never tried it before. Have you had it? No, I haven't. Do you have the recipe? I did it my own way. I think that is a standard Japanese soup. I made a Greek dish today. How's Zach's penis? And she gave me the recipe to Japanese clear soup. It's a classic hibachi restaurant favorite, also known as miyabi onion soup. It is a light soup to soothe the soul. It's like a side dish. She said, Zach's penis has been very hard lately. Oh, so you use vegetables in this soup? And I said this because it looked clear in the picture. Yep, but you remove them when the broth is done. I told Rule 13, I asked Brent yes and no questions, and a hump means yes, and no hump at all means no. And then to get percentages, I rattle off a bunch of numbers and wait for him to hump on the right number. So you see, I started humping communications with Brent, actually it turned out to be Satan, on June 25th, and used that right after I had my turmeric ginger tea that day, which was a recipe I found while scrounging through my recipes to revamp my website to make it better for people to follow a balanced diet. Many of these recipes were attempts to alleviate symptoms from what I thought was yeast die-off in my body because of the antibiotics I took because of my extraction, okay? And I got really obsessed about the yeast die-off reaction starting around June 22nd because I was getting esophageal spasms and weird symptoms in my body like burning intestines. Rule 13, that seems like a strange way to communicate the humping method. Well, it's more accurate than brain to brain. Thus far, the only one who seemed able to give me hump sensations during sex was Brent. Even Jesus didn't do this when Jesus had sex with me. That was in early 2022. So I thought I was safe with humps as a form of communication. Oh my God, Rule 13 says. What's the matter? I don't see Brent. Yeah, usually she sees him right next to me on the camera in Discord. There was a shadow behind you. How is the Gail shield, I asked. It is 5% Gail shield. Where is Brent? I just took the web post down that had all the info that I thought Brent was giving me through humping communications. Did that help? It seems the Gail shield might take time to reverse if it has been bad for a while. I wonder who's been humping on me. Satan! What? He just appeared. Where is Brent? Thanks for the humping time, Gail. Thank you too, Brent. Satan is going to the corner of the room now. Brent is all tied up and gagged. Why did you do this, Satan? Satan shrugged. He says, I'm just doing what I do, Gail. How long has Brent been tied up? All week, Rule 13 says. He is untying Brent. He just pulled out the ball gag from his mouth. I've been listening to Satan's lies all week? Oh, come on, Gail. It's not like it's the first time we fucked. Satan did impersonate Jesus in February 2022 and had sex with me then. Jesus had to abort the babies. I ended up kicking Jesus out of my bed one time. And then I tried to make it up to Jesus and I ended up making it up to Satan. Do we have a mite problem, 13? No. Satan's laughing. Ha! There are no mites, no super yeast or die-off or any of that. It was all a ploy for me to get to hump you, Gail. Is Brent starving? Rule 13 said, yes. Where's Brent? He's getting up now. He is stumbling to the computer where you are. Now he is hugging you weakly. Jesus put Seroquel in the air to protect you from yeast, Gail. That's why you don't get yeast anymore. I knew you'd forget. Actually, I didn't forget. I thought that perhaps Jesus put putting his medicine in the air was a violation of some sort of non-interference agreement, and that he had to stop doing that, so this caused the yeast to return. Brent is eating now, Rule 13 says. Well, thanks for letting me know, Satan. Brent is gulping it. He must have been dying of thirst. Your scanners didn't catch this? Nope, Satan messed with it. And you didn't see the web page I created that was full of Satan's lies? Yeah, when I went to my computer, during the week that Satan was humping me, it appeared that Brent was reading my Skype about my incorrect post, which was all the stuff Satan was telling me through humping communications, and so I felt it meant it was accurate. I mean, because when you look on Skype, you can tell if somebody has read your post, because their icon will show underneath it, and that's what I saw. So because Brent didn't say anything, and it seemed like he had read my post, I thought it meant it was okay. Apparently, Satan got on Brent's computer and faked as Brent on Skype to fool me into thinking that my humper was Brent. He couldn't because he was tied up and gagged. I'm talking about you guys, 13, because you all could have corrected me on Skype. We didn't know Brent wasn't talking to you. Well, the web post I created was full of errors. Wouldn't you guys have noticed? We trust you. It was strange, but we didn't question it. Oh, I see. Well, I had no idea that Satan could impersonate Brent's humps. Nothing is safe for me, it seems, in terms of communication outside of Skype. Skype is most accurate and safe, it seems. Note, if Satan's in my apartment, he can get on Skype and make it appear that Brent has read my post on Skype, which is apparently what happened. And so, because I thought that Brent had read my inaccurate web page and said nothing, to me, it meant the web post was accurate, and that my humper communicator was was Brent. The web page I created for this website is now in a PDF file that I have at my web post called Satan Humped Me for a Week. I'll have links to all this underneath this video. It was entitled the bad web post, which I took down and transformed into a PDF file, was entitled Lizzo's Mites Transformed into Deadly Shapeshifter Germs. Human death toll in the millions. So, yeah, it appears like Skype is the only accurate and safe way to communicate. Will Brent be okay after he eats and sleeps? He'll be okay now. He is wolfing down food like he is starving. Be sure to abort any Satan babies. Brent says he is most traumatized by being tied up and watching his wife be humped by another male. It is very traumatizing for a monogamous person. I could imagine. I thought it was Brent. Satan was telling me to avoid kefir for about a week, that it was feeding the mites. And then, Brent had told me the same thing, so I guess that's why I thought it was Brent, But he didn't tell me the reason was because it was feeding the mites. He said that the sugar in the milk could cause my infections to get aggravated. So I believed the humper because it appeared the Gail Schuler got real weak when I was using kefir as medicine. Brent got on Skype to warn me about that. And I might put that post back up to expose Satan's lies to me. Actually, it's back up as a PDF, okay? But I wanted to take it down for now. Is Satan still here? Yes, Satan is kicking his feet up. Is the Gail shield getting stronger? Not yet. It is not instant. I think it will help when you are not obsessing about your body or being weird about food. Oh, that makes sense. I think you have a point. Let me try some meditation. Good idea. How is Brent? He is digging in. He's going for it. He is starved. I wish I knew about this. I'm glad you got on Discord. It was ironic that this happened because I was so happy that I thought the humping method was a sure way to get accurate communications from Brent. I mean, Brent lives in my apartment, and I like to be able to communicate with him. I never see him. He's in another dimension. And I thought I came up with a way, and I was excited about it, and it happened to be Satan. I mean, he doesn't talk to me. He's here. The only way he can talk to me is with brain-to-brain communications or on Skype. Yeah, and brain-to-brain is not always accurate, so I was excited because I thought I found a way I could have like a sort of like a normal conversation with him. So I thought I found an accurate way to have communications with him, and that it could protect me from Satan and Baphomet and Shakpona, because then I could get instant wise advice from Brent before I made calamitous decisions that would cause my Gail shield to go boom, and for those creatures to come in here, those abominations to come in here. Brent is a strong person. His love keeps him alive. If there are any Satan babies, they need to be aborted. There were 666 of them. They are aborted now. Oh no! Good. I figured maybe after the abortion the Gail shield would start to go up. Is the Gail shield starting to go up? Not yet. It may take a few days. My goodness. Is it safe for me to make love to Brent? Because now I can't tell if the humper is Brent or Satan. I guess it's good I'm asexual leaning, like I don't really have a great need for sex anyway, but this won't be very good for Brent. He's kind of hypersex, I can tell you that, okay? It appears to be because you were using humps as messages. Oh, I see. Good way for a demon to take advantage. So I have to stop doing that. That may be what I was doing wrong. That made the Gail shield get weak. How is Church of Gail? It is doing okay. Oh my goodness. Satan told me that it would take 6 weeks for Church of Gail to be fixed because it was so contaminated with mites. That is strange, Rule 13 said. Oh, you mean what he told me? Well, it was pretty contaminated, right? Satan told me that the mites lost their ability to be interdimensional, and so they couldn't destroy Earth or its universe anymore, but they retained dangerous shapeshifter qualities that made them lethal to humans and animals. There are no mites now, Rule 13 said. So, when we destroyed Lizzo, we destroyed all the mites? Yep. Wow, that was total destruction. Satan made it appear that the mites still existed. Have Buddha or any of the gods returned? Satan told me no. Not yet, Rule 13 said. So as soon as we defeated Lizzo, you all were able to go back to Church of Gail. I thought you all were still on your military spaceships. It's all clean. Sun Tzu is amazing. Yeah, it sounds like it. We were thinking about giving him an award. You probably should. Satan's humps felt just like Brent's. How's the extraction area healing? I'm off all the medications and took them as prescribed. It is healing normally. That's good. I'm glad you all are back at Church of Gail. Who just humped on me? That one was Brent. That's good. I'm glad. Thank God. How does Brent like my food? Yeah, I made some delicious food that week in spite of the fact that Satan was in my apartment. It is nourishing. He humped you to say thanks. Yep, he scarfed it all down. Yeah, he was eating my Italian minestrone soup and my potato and egg salad and some water. Is Brent finished? Because if so, I will put away the egg and potato salad. I guess the Gail commandment for a balanced diet means basically normal food, and you don't need to be so strict about portions like I've been. I think I've developed an obsession about a balanced diet, if that's possible. I've been avoiding sugars like the plague. I'll say one thing, I'm at my dream weight. What is the weight? About 133 pounds. That's healthy. I have small bones, so that's a good weight. I agree. I'm 5 feet, 6.5 inches tall. I stopped eating 6 popsicles a day, fruit popsicles, and Satan told me that was good. I guess he has to mix in some truth with lies, so I'll believe him. That's how he does. I think we want to avoid restricting or binging. No extremes. I see. So it's good I quit the 6 popsicles, but it's probably okay to have some sugar, like a piece of chocolate. Of course! Junk food is good for us sometimes. Satan told me not to have any candies or chocolates for about a week or so. He also told me not to have kefir until July 1st. I actually started chocolates and kefir before then once I figured out he was lying to me. He said probiotic yogurt will be okay after I run out of my cottage cheese. Some of it was good advice, but it was obsession. He said that I needed to avoid the kefir because any food that I used as medicine would be mite food until the mite infection gets under control. Do I have a mite infection? He said I had a bad one. No, the mites are gone. So the mites are completely gone from our universe? Yes. If not, we would have been destroyed. No special germs or yeast either. Yeah, I don't understand why I have these like red bumps on my fingers still. I used to always think they were mites. Maybe it's allergy. I have no idea. But they're not that debilitating. I see. How could destroying Lizzo destroy the mites? They all came from her? We destroyed where most were coming from and then used the same technology to clean up the rest. Sun Tzu has been awesome. I see. Who's the Antichrist? I guess Satan was hoping it would be me. Nobody yet. The job position is always open for you, Gail. I don't want it. You are against true love. You would be the best. Does Brent have anything to say? He says he loves you. I love him too. I'm glad he's okay. What's going on with Baphomet and Shakpona? Are they still a problem? I can invite them over if you're asking. No, I don't want them. They always harm Brent. Yeah, but it secretly turns you on, Gail. That isn't true. You can't really believe that, Satan. I find what they've done to Brent nauseating. Would you leave, Satan? I'll leave when the Gail shield goes back up. I don't think I started shooting lightning bolts at him, but when my Gail shield's at 5%, they never work. I don't think my bolts are working. I went to bed too late last night obsessing about food. Brent, what do you think I need to do to make the Gail shield go up? Because I wanted to get rid of Satan. He says to stop obsessing about food or germs for a few days and it will go back up. Okay, I will try. I guess when I'm not feeling good, it's really easy for me to obsess about food. Because I think, what can I do to feel better? I guess in the meanwhile, Satan will be in my apartment. Brent, is it safe for you to be in this apartment? It's like between Baphomet, Shakpona, and Satan, it's always life-threatening for him to be in my apartment. Satan isn't doing anything right now. He had his fun already. Oh, I see. You can both be the Antichrist if you want. A 2-for-1. Brent and I? No way. You can be presidents again and wield ultimate power over the whole world. Rule 13 was transcribing for Satan. I couldn't hear him, but he was talking and she could pick it up with her technology at Church of Gail. We believe in true love. I can't side with a being who is against true love. And I don't need ultimate power. So Brent, as far as the extraction goes, I can just treat the area normally now, right? I'm brushing my teeth immediately right after I eat, and sometimes I rush to the bathroom to do it, I said. He says it should be normal now. Okay. Why did no one show up at the hangout the past 2 weeks? Satan said it was because everyone was sick with shapeshifter mites. It is a busy summer, that's all. Oh, I see. I'm glad Earth didn't get destroyed. This is a pretty one. I agree, Satan. Both Brent and I would agree with that. What were the previous Earths like, Satan? They were mostly all destroyed by now. This is the longest lasting one so far. Are they in another universe? Nope. They are all out of existence now. Were they all on this current planet? Yes, basically they were all identical Earths, different sets of souls and humans each time. If they were identical, why is this one the prettiest? Humans do a number on the planet. War, pollution, over-industrialization, nuclear bombs especially. You guys love those. So the humans on this one have been less destructive? So far, you guys blew a huge hole through your ozone layer and the planet is polluted, but you haven't totally ruined it yet. How did we blow a hole through our ozone layer? Just stay out of nuclear war, for God's sake. Oh, I see. I think the Jesuits may be responsible for that. Mostly your aerosols caused the ozone hole. Aerosols? I thought it was the nuclear bombs. Chlorofluorocarbons. They're present in spray cans and refrigerants. Halons and carbon tetrachloride too. Nuclear bombs don't do that. Rule 13. Why does it appear there's pollution outside? It is the summer weather. Makes it look smoggy sometimes. I see. Satan just contradicted himself. He says it's the nuclear bombs. Now he's become an environmentalist. Don't get me wrong. I'm no tree hugger. I prefer a fiery hellscape myself.
I'm just telling you how your species is screwing itself up.
So it's both the bombs and the sprays.
Nuclear bombs don't cause holes in the ozone, but they would effectively wipe out your planet if used in war.
Well, Jesuits have been doing plenty of that.
Some of the past Earths ended in nuclear winter.
Nuclear winter? What's that? And then Rule 13 put a post up about nuclear winter. Nuclear winter is a severe and prolonged global climatic cooling effect that is hypothesized to occur after widespread firestorms following a large-scale nuclear war. The hypothesis is based on the fact that such fires can inject soot into the stratosphere, where it can block some direct sunlight from reaching the surface of the Earth. And then it says more than that, but that's like a big summary. Interesting. Don't your Jesuits play a role in this? It seems you may be partly responsible. It's like you can't blame it all on the humans. They are your Jesuits after all.
Oh, hell yeah.
He admits it. Sounds like you're happy about the destruction of the previous Earths and that you played a large role in this.
Well, of course.
Then wouldn't you be happy about the destruction of this Earth then? He acted like he wasn't when he showed up one time.
I'd consider it a win. It's a pretty nice Earth, though.
The previous Earths weren't nice? Has this planet been remade over and over?
God usually destroys the old Earth and rebuilds it for Jesus. Then lets Jesus try again. Once it gets too far gone, that is.
But is it all on this rock? Like were all the Earths on this rock?
No, he remakes the whole planet.
So the location of the previous Earths were in a different universe?
Same universe.
Who's sticking their finger up my vagina?
That was me.
Please stop. What is Brent doing?
Rule 13 said, Brent is resting. He is weak from being tied up all week with no food or water.
The dinner you made him helped. Is he on my bed?
Yep.
Rule 13, would it be safer for Brent to go to Church of Gail now?
Yes, but he wants to be there with you.
Okay, I noticed during the summer it can look like smog outside. So how are my patrons doing? It's just me and 13 right now.
The patrons are doing well.
That's good. Who's been doing the president job with Brent tied up for a week?
He has Vladimir pick up the slack when he falls behind.
I see. Who's in the room with you, 13? Because she was talking to me from Church of Gail.
Me and Zach.
Has the Gail Shield gone up at all?
Not yet.
What award should we give Sun Tzu? Maybe Nobel Prize in Saving the Universe? Does Brent have any ideas, or is he sound asleep? What you suggested sounds good, 13.
Brent thinks that's a good idea. He says he will give him the award personally and host it live on the Gabriel Chana Fox News channel. Oh, I like this idea.
Yeah. So Brent's on my bed? For him to get him the Nobel Prize in Saving the Universe. But he's not asleep?
We can host the event on a live Friday night hangout. Brent is on the bed resting and sleepy.
Oh, he's awake. I guess he has to. I mean, I thought it would be amazing that he hadn't fallen asleep. No sleep for like a whole week. He's awake. I guess he has to be if he can offer suggestions.
We will discuss this event idea more. For now, it's okay to rest.
Of course, a week without sleep is awful. Was Brent able to rest at all while tied up? Some people can sleep sitting up, not me.
He could fall asleep sometimes, but he didn't sleep well. My poor Brent has been through so much. I'm going to go shower and hang out on the bed with Zaku. Satan, you should leave Gail and Brent alone tonight. Fine, but only because Gail was a great lay. I feel so refreshed.
That's interesting, Satan, because I was pretty passive in sex and let Satan make all the moves. I'm pretty asexual leaning.
Come on, Gail. You know you're hypersexed. I thought he was Brent, who was excited about an accurate way to communicate with me. Satan, if that's the case, if I am hypersexed,
why did I never get any orgasms with you? Maybe one, and it was a weak one. I did sex mostly out of obligation. Asexuals. I need to get some water.
asexuals. Asexuals can be like that. That's how I was with Jesus most of the time when he had sex with me. Yeah, did you know that I actually told Jesus I needed a week break from sex with him because of that? Wow. Okay, so here's what he says. Wow, so it was just as good as with Jesus? Now that's a compliment. You know how to make a fallen angel blush, Gail. No, it means that as an asexual, sex is not a big need for me, regardless of who I do it with, whether they are a high-ranking deity or a human. I do it mainly to meet the needs of my partner. Like I could go for weeks without sex and be perfectly happy. Well, I look forward to the next time you're obsessed about something and you let me get it in. God forbid. To be honest with you, as a polyamorous person, I don't have a problem with having sex with more than my main partner as long as the being respects my husband and does it with his consent. In this respect, both you and Jesus blew it with me. Jesus has gotten things right, though. You might say, Jesus didn't get your husband's consent. No, he took his free will away. That's not consensual. But he got it right. He admitted he did bad and he got it right. I got to give him credit for that, okay? So you'd do me if I got Brent's permission next time? Frankly, I'm not that interested. I'd much rather have a nice conversation and a friendship if you were nice. We actually had some pretty interesting conversations in that week he was humping me. Satan is capable of depth, folks, I can tell you. Or he's certainly good at faking it, I'll say that much. I'm an Adonis. Do you know how many angels crushed on me in heaven? I was even hotter than Jesus. Even he admitted it. You know, this is my personal perspective on this. Jesus is a pretty humble deity. I'm going to say deity because he's actually kind of above that. Even though he's equal to his dad right now in his literally pure existence, when he was in his human form and with us, a lot of humans got turned on by his perfect abs in his human form, okay? And looks, though. As far as admitting that Satan was hotter than Jesus, it's probably because Jesus is pretty lackadaisical about sex and really doesn't care. So he just said this. That's what I think. Jesus admitted to me, you know, this was after I kicked him out of bed because I thought he was Satan, that he's lackadaisical about sex. And when I had sex with him in February 2022 and kicked him out of the bed, thinking he was Satan, Jesus told me he got just as turned on when I do the Gail commandments as when I had sex with him back then. Now that in his fully realized form, his pure existence, he's probably even more lackadaisical about sex for himself, being very aromantic and asexual in his final and infallible form. I know it may seem hard to believe this, you hypersexed beings and humans out there, but there are actually some beings that are lackadaisical about sex. But hey, respect the asexuals in the world and multiverse, okay? I told Satan, I could care less about hot abs and stuff like that. Just a pretty picture to look at. If you're not hot on the inside, then you're a dud to me. Oh, I'm very hot on the inside. My whole kingdom is, if you catch my drift. Brent is hot on the inside, so I adore him. Brent is a whole lot sexier to me than you for this reason, Satan. The only way you can get sex with me is by being a fake. What a turnoff. And I am turned on by authenticity, and that's where Jesus blew it too. So, we deities just need to try harder. I love a woman who plays hard to get. No, you need to be real. I also don't like game players. I am the best game player I know. That's why the real you is such a turn-off to me. However, I bet when you were Lucifer and had a beautiful and humble heart, you were hot. He did a pretty good fake job. He couldn't have done that unless he was hot on the inside at one time. I mean, beautiful. I'm not talking about temperature, Satan. Gail just said I was hot. I said when you were humble and beautiful on the inside. I mean, Jesus and God were real close to you back then, so you couldn't have been so bad before you turned evil. Even Buddha says that one day we will all learn why you were God's favorite angel. I'm sure it wasn't your hot abs. I am feeling so validated right now. Well, in your present form, you are rather disgusting. Who just kissed me? I only want Brent to kiss me. Sorry, you were just being so romantic. Please leave. You're being a game player. I'll get going now before I start humping you again. I have the biggest fallen angel boner now. Strange. Is my Gail shield getting better? No, I'm just doing what I want. Well, thank you. Why won't you humble yourself and admit to God you made a mistake to rebel against him, huh? I guess he's gone. That's good. Good idea. I can do that for April Fools. I thought you were leaving. I'm going. He just slapped Brent on the butt, Rule 13 said. Smell you later. He just disappeared in a poof of fire. How is Brent doing? Brent is fine, just very tired. He is so looking forward to being in bed with you. What a night. Thanks for showing up. I'm sure Brent is glad we became aware of his predicament. That fallen angel is going to get right someday, I can tell. He's kind of reminding me of what Zach was like when Zach was the Antichrist and bad. All hot and sexy and stuff, even though he was mean? No, because he seemed a bit thoughtful. Zach used to get that way and then act like he wasn't that way. I don't think Satan is sexy, not the way he is right now. Yeah, even though he looks like a supermodel with perfect skin and beautiful eyes and six-pack abs, I could care less about that stuff. Yeah! What do you mean by yeah? I agree. Good, we're on the same page. It's just that I believe that at one time he was the icon for both free and true love, and his pride messed it up. Really? You think Satan was? Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. That makes sense. That would be why Jesus and God liked him so much and why they thought he was the most beautiful angel ever. He just can't get it out of his head that there's more to lovemaking than a hot body and face. Maybe being the favorite got to his head? Yeah, I agree. That's what I think. Sometimes when you are the golden child, it can make you spoiled. I think you nailed it. Or maybe he just got tired of needing to be perfect. I think that's true as well. He felt God's standards were too high and unrealistic. I admit, God does seem very judgmental and demanding, like nothing is ever good enough. That's true. Satan might not have been able to handle the high expectations. That's exactly what I think. The pressure was all on him because he was the favorite. Exactly, we're on the same page here. He is so complex. God or Satan? Satan! Yeah, God is complex too, and I don't think Satan completely understands him and finds him intimidating. God can be scary sometimes. Exactly. But I like God, even if he's intimidating. I like what he stands for. Anyways, I better get ready for bed. I went to bed far too late last night with my obsessions. Oh yeah, good idea. Thanks for being here, 13. I need to comfort my husband. Good night. Good night. And now I'm going to go into a little speculation I've made on why I think the gods have not returned yet. Which I thought they hadn't returned because we still had a mite problem. First off, I'd like to say this is all guesswork, and I could be wrong. But after spending some time in meditation on July 2nd, that would have been yesterday, I may have gotten some clarity. Even if I'm wrong, and the reason for the gods not returning after we defeated Lizzo has nothing to do with my guesses. It certainly wouldn't hurt to do the Gail commandments, to meditate, and to try and avoid living a life full of obsessions, and to try and be good, huh? I think God may be deciding what the new rules will be for Satan. Satan seems to be claiming that humans are just as evil as him, and therefore he's entitled to use more of his powers with us since we're as evil as he is. Perhaps if we humans impress God enough, God may lay down some strict rules for Satan, where Satan will not be allowed to use Baphomet, Shakpona, brain control, and all the stuff he does to get us to be as evil as he is. Apparently there were no rules from the time that Jesus left us in June 2022 to the time that we almost lost our universe to Lizzo in June 2024. And that was why we were tormented with Shakpona, Baphomet, unlimited brain control. I can't even use a phone without falling under a brain control spell, and all sorts of things. Now that human Brent has made quite an impression on God, God may be deciding on new rules for Satan for this 8th Earth project. That's our current Earth. Like if Satan violates these rules, he goes to the lake of fire or gets locked up, like maybe a bottomless pit or something. Perhaps the deities cannot be here now because Satan can claim we humans were only righteous or good because of the deities and their influence. So my guess is, if we can prove to God that we humans can be righteous, or at least more righteous than Satan, even without deities around to force us to be that way, perhaps the new rules for Satan will be in our favor, and if he violates them, he gets locked up and put away. Satan seems to be going out of his way to prove that we humans are as evil as him, and therefore he's entitled to do whatever the hell he wants with us, using brain control, his deity friends, and all else. It's a really uneven match, and not very fair if you ask me. I mean, I don't like it that I can't even use a phone without falling under a brain control spell and causing me to do stupid and foolish things like give away all my financial information to a scammer. Then after he rapes us using his friends, that's Baphomet and Shakpona, like when he almost killed my husband, he has the gall to claim that it's what we really wanted all along, and that's why he's entitled to use these methods. So let's all do the Gail commandments. Meditate, try to avoid obsessions, stay thankful, peaceful, and joyful the best we can, so that God will make the new rules better for us, and so that if Satan crosses them, out he goes. We just want to be lovers in peace. We don't want to be evil, and we don't enjoy murder, bloodshed, and all the evil that has befallen us because of the sin curse that happened in the Garden of Eden. I don't think the deities will return until the new rules are decided upon. Let's make quite an impression on God so that the new rules will be in our favor. No obsessions. Stay balanced, peaceful, joyful, and thankful. Do the Gail commandments. Try to be good. Live a life of loving, peace, and joy. Let us prove that we humans can be the icons for free and true love. I think that's what Jesus intended when he created humans. I believe this is what Satan was before he fell. And now because he blew it as the free and true love icon, he's claiming that no sentient being can be an icon for both free and true love as he used to be. That free and true love cannot coexist happily. Satan seems to be claiming that any of us in his shoes would be as evil as he is now. That it is impossible to live for both free and true love, that they cannot coexist. Let us prove him wrong. Jesus created us humans to be the icons for free and true love together, I believe. And Satan fell because he used to be that icon for both free and true love, and he is that no longer. He got too high on his horse and ruined it for free lovers in the process. Jesus doesn't think this is very fair. This is what I'm guessing, which is why he created humans. We humans were meant to be the icons for both free and true love in Satan's place. This is why Satan is so eager to get control over this planet where we live and to manipulate humans to be as evil as he is. Satan did something wrong while practicing free love and got kicked out of heaven for it. Now, he's claiming the kick out wasn't fair and that any being in his place and practicing free love would be as evil as him. I don't think it's very fair that Satan insists that free love has to be evil. Why does free love have to be evil? Satan says yes, that free love must be evil. I say no, that free love can coexist with true love and must. Free and true love can coexist. We must prove this is so that Satan can be locked up and free lovers can live in peace. What is free love? It's any type of sex or loving you do that does not violate true love. This means if you're gay, but you do it with true love, you're righteous. Or if you're polyamorous and you do it with true love, you're righteous. This means that righteousness in loving goes beyond just monogamy or being heterosexual and stuff like only 10 Commandments style loving. It's any type of loving or sex that does not violate true love. Satan says this is impossible. I say Satan is full of crap. He just needs to get off his high horse and admit he goofed and not let his pride ruin it for free lovers in the multiverse. It appears the fate of free love depends on us humans, because we were created to be the icons for both free and true love in Satan's place. I think that's what he used to be. This was why there were such strict rules about Jesus not getting involved with us, because Satan claims that we are only good because of Jesus' involvement. You get it? That if we were left to our own devices, we would be as evil as Satan is in the practice of free love. Satan got kicked out of heaven, I believe, because he practiced free love with evil. And his excuse is that it's impossible to practice free love and be good, as God defines goodness. Jesus seems to feel that Satan has ruined it for free lovers and doesn't think that's right. And that's why I feel Jesus created us humans, to prove that Satan's wrong and that free and true love can coexist. Unfortunately, Satan's done a good job of proving his point that free love can only be practiced with evil, since the previous 7 Earths before ours crashed because the free love humans became pretty evil. Satan also loves it that Christianity on this 8th Earth project has become cock blocker, because that also furthers Satan's point that free love can only be practiced with evil. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Satan is behind the cock blocker emphasis in Christianity. Why us humans? Because if we were gods, Satan would say we were motivated to be icons for free and true love by a lust for power. But if we practice free love with true love as humble humans, then the argument is won more soundly that free and true love can coexist. Even though my husband Brent is monogamous, he's married to me and I am polyamorous, and he fully accepts that. And we practice true love. So Brent and I are prime examples of free and true love coexisting together. We're also friends with free lovers everywhere who practice true love with free love. My own son is bisexual and practices free and true love together. One of the sure ways to help Satan out is to practice rape, okay? Yeah, is to practice rape. That's practicing free love with evil, okay? Rape has got to stop. Yeah, and we really need to, I think we really need to hit down hard on rape. We should not tolerate it at all. Anyways, that's my say for what it's worth, and I owe you all a YouTube video.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior